Hello everyone, my name is Christian, welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are going to be doing a ranking of Frank Henenlotter's Basketcase films. I have all three here, one of which is Basketcase 1, released by Arrow Video. And then the next two, Basketcase 2 and 3, released by Synapse Films. If you saw my haul video on Wednesday, that released, you will see that I got these two from the Synapse Films sale. So I went ahead and watched them, and I can finally give my ranking for the Basketcase series. I have known this series for so long. I saw the first one back before even college, I want to say. I remember watching it on TV one day and seeing a creature jump out of a basket, and I was like, nope. And I changed the channel for some reason. And then years later, during school, I rewatched it. I don't remember how. Maybe it was in class, maybe not. I don't remember. But I watched it, and I ended up loving it. Bought probably one of my first ever video releases I ever bought. I bought this. Comes with a very sick slipcover. Looks just the same as number 2, but I love the back here where it lists all the special features, and it's like a whole fucking paragraph. It's kind of amazing, but these other two I just watched for the first time this week. So Basketcase 2 I watched on Tuesday night, so yesterday as of filming, and then no, I watched it Monday night. That's right, because last night I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because that's what I do in my life. But I watched the third one today, and so let's get into it. We're gonna start on number 3 of the ranking, my least favorite, and then we'll go down to my favorite one. The first one, that my least favorite one, should not be a surprise. Looking up rankings after the fact, nobody really likes this movie. This is Basketcase 3, The Progeny. This one is just a continuation of the second one. Doesn't do anything new with the material. Frank Henenlotter is really honing it in this movie in terms of his cinematography. It's not even that interesting to look at. It's just very just point and shoot. Because it's made not even a year later after the second one was made. While the time gap between 1 and 2 is like a decade, roughly. This one is just within a year, so you could tell that he had all the costumes still and the sets, and just kind of made one more movie to cash in, maybe. I don't want to give Frank Henenlotter too much shit for this, because I like him a lot. I love his movies. But I feel like he got some sort of deal where he had to do 2 movies. And he had just this wonderful idea for the second one, and then didn't know what else to go for the second movie. Because the way, I'll get into it later, but the way that it ends, number 2, is just so amazing. So perfect. End it there. Make it a duology. But they can't do that. They gotta make a third one. And he just ends it so well. And in a way where they can never make a new one. Unless they do a remake, which, oh god. Please stop doing remakes of great movies. Take some shitty movies from this time period and remake those. Like, come on. But, yeah, my least favorite, of course, is Basketcase 3. I had a hard time with it. I may have even drifted off to sleep at times. That's how just boring it was. But, the next one, my second favorite, my middle ranking, may be a shock. I don't know people's general impressions of the series as a whole, but Basketcase 1 is my middle. I love this. I love this to death. It is so great and awesome, and a very effective horror film, showing the sleaziness and nasty, gritty everything of New York City back in this time period. And Frank Henenlotter really uses the sets well. I mean, a lot of shots of guerrilla filmmaking, where they are on the street filming without a whatever license or whatever. And I love it a lot, and it's really funny to me that this is a 4K restoration. I just love that it was the Museum of Modern Art, this like highly esteemed institution, did a 4K restoration and chose this movie for preservation and the curated, catalog. But the story of this movie is that there's a conjoined twins that are attached at the hip, and one of them is like a demon monster, and the other one's just a guy, and they get separated as teenagers, and the little brother, the monster, is named Belial, so very reminiscent of Christian, whatever it's called, mythology. But they get separated, and they escape from the doctors. They get separated, and Belial just kind of attacks all the doctors, and they get away. And Belial lives in this little basket here, where you can see the hands on this side are holding on. It's very, very funny to watch the first one, as they were legitimately making a horror movie. And then Frank Henenlotter must have realized he's really great at like physical comedy and directing that, because every movie after this, he is so leaning on just the hilarity of the situation. And I just love everything about this movie, and there's interviews, features, everything on this place is so amazing. I mean, they got short films by Frank Henenlotter. They have interviews with like everybody, with the special effects lady, the costuming department, the main actor, the director, everybody. Even Joe Bob Briggs gets an interview in here, which is a lot of fun. We all love Joe Bob Briggs. But yeah, like, this is this is a cult classic. It was in the Midnight Run catalog, but it's basically where in the theaters, after a movie was made, the filmmakers would kind of send their own prints to different theaters, and they would like keep running it until it doesn't make a profit anymore. And so some movies got really popular this way, where they didn't do well on their initial run, but then like became famous. And some of the movies in this is like Pink Flamingos by John Waters, El Topo, Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky. Night of the Living Dead was kind of the beginning point, I believe, by George A. Romero, of course. Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is like the last one I haven't seen, along with Pink Flamingos, but Pink Flamingos I actually have interest in watching. I don't care for Rocky Horror Picture Show because of kind of the environment that I've known that movie from, where in college everybody was so obsessed with it, and I was like, oh, how is it going to the theater watching this movie? And they were like, oh yeah, everyone's screaming and singing along and this, that, and yeah, it's so fun. And I'm like, I know I should watch that movie for the first time at a theater, but that's not how I watch a movie. I will have no idea what's going on. So maybe I'm a bit highbrow about that. I do want to watch it eventually. I feel like the first viewing should be at a theater, but I don't like the theater experience in general, unless I'm the only person in the room. So yeah, that's my little side piece about that. But Basketcase was in this, along with Reanimator. Tremors was like much later one, although Tremors was more the the VHS rental era is when that got popular. But yeah, that's my number 2. Went on a long kind of discussion on this, but number 2, Basketcase 1 by Frank Henenlotter. Okay, now the final one, maybe this is a shock again. I don't know what the general impression is, but I have a feeling number 3 is the lowest reviewed by everybody. But this is, of course, Basketcase 2. This was my favorite one. This was the first time watch earlier this week, Monday night, as I said. This one is just so funny and over the top, so campy. Oh my gosh. I flipped it to the other side, which I think I mentioned in my whole video, but if you didn't watch that, I had the covers flipped because there are so many spoilers. It ruins the surprise, because I honestly just avoided the sequels for the longest time, because I was like, there's no way it could get better. Basketcase 1 is a perfect movie in my eyes. Very well done, great effects for what they could do. But I avoided these forever, and it was finally this sale. I was like, okay, I'll get it. I'll finally watch these. Fine. I'll just get rid of it if I don't like it. Well, I immediately watched Basketcase 2 and fell in love. This was so funny. I have never laughed so hard during a movie. It's a shocking homage to Todd Browning's Freaks from 1932, which I was so pleasantly surprised with. And I can't say much more about the story, but that was an issue I had. What else can you do with Basketcase? Well, this movie solves it, and it is phenomenal. I loved Basketcase 2. Basketcase 3, whatever, but like this one, I'm gonna have to do like double features of, like, for the rest of my life, and drop it on unsuspecting friends and make them either hate me or love me for it. But oh my god, Basketcase 2 is just so funny. I'm not showing the back because it shows some of the spoilers, because I went in knowing nothing. They even have a shot from like the final sequence in this. But this movie's so awesome, and it came out in 1990, so there's that 9-year or so gap between the first one and this one. So the actors are noticeably older, and they're saying like, oh, it was just last year, that incident. But no, it's 9 years later, and the actor looks, schlubby middle-aged white man now, instead of, the young, not kid, but, someone like 21, 22. Now he's like 30. Just going around with this fucking Belial guy ruining everything. And the ending to this is just bold as anything. There's no other way that this could have ended, in my opinion. And this is why I was kind of lukewarm about movie 3, because there's nowhere else you can go after this. This is like Evil Dead 2. If you mix Evil Dead 1 and 2 with Basketcase, and how those sequels are handled, exactly the same way. The first Evil Dead was so serious, was so focused on building the tension, but they had very low budgets, just like Basketcase 1. And they just, for the second movie, they were like, okay, like, everyone can see that we were trying not to make a comedy. Let's make a comedy. Let's go fucking insane throughout the entirety of Evil Dead 2. And they did, and that's why I prefer that movie over 1, although 1 is still very interesting. The commentary track on that release, by the way, is just hilarious and very informative. It's one of those, like, every minute you learn something new. But Army of Darkness is my personal favorite, because I love the everything to do with the medieval ages plotline of Ash with his boomstick. like fighting knights in armor and like vampires. It is very funny. But the sequels to Evil Dead and the sequels to Basketcase are the same, except Basketcase 3 is nowhere near as good as Army of Darkness, which is Evil Dead 3. Although I don't know why they never called it Evil Dead 3. But, yeah. Those are my rankings. I don't have really anything else to say about these movies. I enjoy the series a lot. I love Frankenenlader. I love Brain Damage. Frankenhooker. What else has he done? I thought he did Street Trash, but I recently looked at who directed that and it wasn't him, so. But that's another one of those super violent 80s movies, so that'll be next up on the docket. I don't know if I'll review it unless it leaves a really big impression on me. I was very, very tempted to do a whole video on Brain Dam or Basketcase 2, but I was like, man, sorry, there's no way to discuss it without full spoilers. And I want people to go in as blind as they can. So, thank you all for watching. Let me know what series you want me to watch next.